Right now, we want to say good afternoon to our friend, Mike Lutzenkirchen. The foundation, Lutzy 43, has done amazing work, not just here in Georgia, but around the country. And Mike, it's good to have you back on. I know you got a lot of stuff happening here over the next few weeks specifically. And listen, Mike and I have talked a lot about what's happened at Georgia with the driving and safety. And I want you to at least first tell the story for those people who don't know, because we don't assume that everybody knows the story of Philip and what happened and why you do what you do. But then we can talk about where you're going to be and how you can help people. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, Colin, Mike, great to have talk to you guys and having me on. I really appreciate it. For the condensed story, we're up here in Lassiter School District up here in Marietta, and Philip's my only boy out of 4 kids. And unfortunately, after he had a wonderful career from 2009 to 12, playing football at Auburn, national champion as a sophomore, 2-time captain, short run in the NFL, we lost him in a single vehicle crash as a passenger the summer of 2014. And I highlight the word crash because what the kids' decisions were that night, they were all drunk, they were speeding, they were out well after midnight. The one young man that wore a seatbelt survived the crash. We created the Lutzy 43 Foundation to do all we can to try to eliminate roadway fatalities in the state of Georgia, the Southeast, and across the U.S.
And certainly, guys, as we know today, and I'm trying to pick on younger people, but man, attention span and some of the things I see on my drive home every day, I know Carl as well, it just gives you pause. So basically, the idea behind it is to get folks to think about what they're doing before they get behind the wheel.
That's right, Mike. If you look at it in our country and you ask people, no matter what their age is or where they're from or driving experience, what's the image or the symbol that they look at triggers them to be a smarter and safer driver? And the most common answer we get from teenagers, quite frankly, is blue lights behind them. Well, it's probably too late at that point. Adults are driving distracted, and this is a general statement. Not everybody's doing that, but we've got way too much of that going on. So, Philip War, number 43, last name's Lutzenkirchen, Auburn fan base, nickname him Lutzy, L-U-T-Z-I-E. So we created a program we call 43 Key Seconds. And what it is, it's 43 key seconds that's on a key. We typically put somebody's logo, whether it's a high school, college, corporation, or an association on the back of that key. It goes on a lanyard. But most importantly, we created a 43 key second checklist that says before you start your vehicle, ask yourself, do you have a clear head, clear hands, clear eyes? And then we tie into the 20-year program of click it or ticket. And not to take you through all the details, but what does a clear head mean? It means all of us ask ourselves, am I drug impaired, alcohol impaired, fatigued, emotionally impaired, or technology impaired? And if you're any of those, we've got to have the courtesy to everybody on the roads to step back and say, I'm not ready to drive.
I'm proud of what Mike and his family. He's got an amazing family, and certainly the foundation has done. They give scholarships. They have great partnerships. Mike has spoke all over the country, by the way, to almost every major university and certainly all SEC schools you could think about when it comes to this. Because as Mike and I tell you guys all the time, our listeners, this isn't just not here. It's happening all over. And so let's talk about where you're going to be and what's going on with April being National Distracted Driving Awareness Month.
Yeah, that's put on the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, the National Safety Council. It's just a month-long awareness to say, hey, if we do something deliberately for 21 straight days, it becomes a habit. So I encourage the audience, put down that phone and do it for 21 days. You'll be amazed at how picking that phone up and realize you can receive a call hands-free in most vehicles now. You can respond to a text or an email when you get to where you're going. But I guess the sign to us guys, we're succeeding. We're in our 11th year. We've got our 9th anniversary golf tournament coming up on May 8th. But this week is pretty big for us. We start tomorrow at Kennesaw Mountain High School in Cobb, Osborne High School on Thursday, and over at Lassiter where the kids went to school on Friday. And we host our 9th annual Cobb County School District K-5 elementary school adapted PE field day. Philip did so much for kids that were born with mental and physical challenges, or unfortunately they got cancer. These 3 days, it's from 9:30 to 11:30. You'll see over 700 kids in total at the 3 sites, just having a great day on the turf football fields, going through 20 different field stations. High school kids from each of the schools coming out and loving on those kids. And we strongly encourage the incredible faculty members that watch over these kids Monday through Friday to take a break and let us watch over these kids. And it's just spectacular. And the public here is invited to come out to those 3 schools. But also on Friday, we'll be in Morgan County at Madison, Georgia, delivering our 28th 5-hour safe driving summit. It's a 5-hour event. We'll start out with a 75-minute keynote where it's an all-student assembly, 1,000-plus students at the school, and then up to 400 kids are going to rotate through 4 very impactful 30-minute breakouts. And it's done in a wonderful partnership with the Georgia Department of Transportation, who foots the bill on the entire event. But we're going to put these kids in a simulation of a teen coming into an emergency room, a trauma center. What if you survive that crash, the trauma center and surgeries, what does rehab look like? So we've got Wellstar and Children's of Atlanta going to be there, experts to say, here's what we're going to do our best to get you pre-crash mental and physical capacities. We've got every level of law enforcement in Georgia. So this event will have Georgia State Patrol Motor Carrier Compliance Division. We'll have the Morgan County Police, Sheriff, and Madison Police. They're going to take these kids through what they're seeing in their respective jurisdictions of teen drivers. In the fourth breakout, we'll have 3 80,000-pound tractor trailers in there with America's Trucking Association, America's Road Team captains. These are drivers with 2 million-plus incident-free miles, and they're going to be leading these kids through what are blind spots around these big vehicles. Right. When you pass us, what side to do it at, what are stopping distances. Because the reality of it is, guys, us light vehicle drivers are the ones causing 79% of the crashes involving these large tractor trailers.
It is Mike Lutzenkirchen with us, guys. If you want to get involved, get more information, go to Lutzie, that's Lutzie 43.org. As I said, again, I can be doing a better job behind the wheel. Most adults can, but I think so many parents out there, Mike, they dread those days when the kids get the learner permit and then they're getting behind the wheel. So this is a great idea to get everybody a little more education before they're actually doing that.
That's right, Mike. We're not too far away from Memorial Day when that will be labeled Memorial Day to Labor Day, the 100 deadliest days of summer, where we've got more teenagers driving, more teenagers going to the beach, going to practices for summer sports, just out having fun. So we're going to try to do all we can to partner with the Georgia Department of Transportation, Governor's Office of Highway Safety, and other entities. But we really need, the private sector, corporate help to help us really change the narrative. Because here's the reality. You're going to see it come out shortly here. We just exceeded 45,000 roadway fatalities in this country. And they're caused by crashes, because crashes are behavioral choices. We don't have to be losing any lives. Philip lost his life because these kids were drunk and got in a vehicle at 2:30 in the morning, weren't wearing seatbelts, were super speeding, weren't familiar with the country roads they were on. That wasn't an accident. It was a crash because it was poor choices. So, we're doing all we can. It's going to be exciting, quite frankly, to be south of Athens with everything that's going on at UGA,
right?
In particular with football. We've got some people on our behalf that have tried to reach out, some leadership at UGA to say, hey, come on down and see what this event is all about. I've spoken twice over the last 10 years to UGA football, once under Mark Rick's regime, and one of the first speakers Kirby brought in. And I truly believe what we're doing with 43 key seconds, we can help make some changes in the behavior of some of the kids making poor decisions that have been given the luxury of these free vehicles because of NIL. There's just a lot we can be doing together.
Yeah, and Mike, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I've said numerous times, I know Kirby's doing a lot to try to get awareness to his kids. Before we let you go, my friend, I want to ask you, they are the number 1 overall seed in the tournament. Is Auburn going to get it done with Bruce Pearl in San Antonio this weekend?
What a lineup, right? First of all, Neville Arena East came up to Atlanta over the weekend. What a show out by the Auburn family.
It did.
But I'll tell you what, to see the teams that are making it down to the tournament, any one of these teams could win it. But I like, if Auburn's healthy and Auburn controls players' emotions and they play unselfish like they did Sunday in Atlanta, I like their chances. Florida's going to give them a big front line, and boy, I know we're going to do a good job of guarding that guard that just seems to light it up in the last 3 minutes of a game. But it's anyone's game, but it should be pretty exciting.
It is. It will be.
Right on.
And, Mike, we appreciate you. Again, give the website again for people who want more information. And, guys, this is – if you have teenage kids, trust me, this is something you want to check out. It's so helpful. And Mike's been doing this, as he said, it's their 11th year. And I remember when he started, and we were like – how do you get this off the ground? And he's done an amazing job, and all the folks that have contributed and helped. Give out the website one more time.
Yeah, it's Lutzie, Lutzie 43.org, Lutzie43.org. And, my final closing comments to the audience out there, if you're a leader or you're passionate about the company you work for, we could be doing more from the private sector, working with the public sector to make our roadways safe. I'd encourage you to go to our website, learn about what we're doing with 43 Key Seconds for corporations, and give us a shout. We'd love to come in and try to help you through my son's story and life.
Right on. Hey, Mike, great to catch up with you again, brother.